To get through this round, to tell you the truth, we've got a terrific team, and for 2 years we've really held up well through the regular season, and I think this group needed a little bit of postseason success. So I've had enough experience in this thing that the first one's very difficult to get through, and we're just happy right now to advance and move forward into this tournament. Now anything can happen.
Coach, it seems like you guys have, been here before. We said it after the quarterfinal game against Bentley. I mean, you just seem to find a way. Obviously, not great that teams are coming back into the game, but you guys always just seem to find a way with this group to pull it out in the end.
Yeah, it's really for 2 years been a trademark of this group, and I'm not saying I like it either, but it shows you a couple of things. We're good enough to get a lead that's 15, 16, 17, 18. And we're good enough to close games out when things get tight, and really, as we talked about it, we probably went through a 6, 7, 8 minute stretch where we were stuck on 65 and just couldn't extend it. And then when Champion missed that 3 to tie, and Dino comes down under a minute and makes a dribble drive, contested layup at the basket. Now that changed everything. Now it was we needed one stop. Dino strips them down the other end. And you're only looking at a couple of plays. So, we're older, we're mature, we're tough. They don't get down on themselves. And, it's a good trait to be able to have. We've won a lot of, 2, 3, 4, 5 minute basketball games in the last couple of years.
Talk about defensively, kind of the job you did, at least, and maybe your two biggest concerns in Jansen and Champion.
Yeah, well, I looked at the stat sheet and saw Jansen only had 12. And I think it's, a very dominant 12-point performance because he probably drew 12 fouls. He scored 12 points and drew 12 fouls on us. So, it's sort of, we had to make adjustments there with Chris going out of the game and then Dom going out of the game. We put in Isaiah Nelson, who really has not been in our rotation, hasn't got very many practice reps with our team during the season. And I think he did just an unbelievable job. The look in his eye was great. I thought he guarded Jansen well. His help defense was good. He didn't foul. And gave us a couple of offensive possessions that he scored points. So I think to try to deal with Jansen at 6'11" and try to deal with Champion, we did as good a job as we could do. It put us in foul trouble, which sort of adjusted the way we had to play the game. But God bless Isaiah for stepping up. At this time of year, people have to do things outside of the normal.
I'm just going to ask you that, to advance through this thing, do you kind of need performances like that from unheralded guys like that? And kind of, how do you know as a coach really who has that in them, who's ready at, at this level?
We've talked about that, though. I mean, that's, my experience shows me that, too, that tonight it was Isaiah who came out of nowhere. Chris Santo didn't give us anything, and he's an all-conference basketball player, and I thought Roy, his first half performance, getting 19 was above normal, and he sort of gave us confidence. He lugged us around there for a little bit. Tomorrow night it could be somebody different, and I think that's why at this time of year, you get it, you put it in your pocket, you forget about it, and you move forward, and that's the way we have to approach this.
You okay with your decision last night to keep your slot this morning to let Roy shoot?
Yeah, but with the amount of extra shots Roy takes, he should make a lot of them, to tell you the truth. Roy takes a lot of shots. So, kids have different routines. Roy loves his routine, and the last thing you want to do is get a kid like that out of his routine. So if he wants to get up at 7:30 and shoot, we'll send a coach to help him.
And lastly, kind of, you hit on the layup by Dino. Is that just something, tough kid, senior captain that, you kind of expect from him?
Yeah, you'd have to ask Dino, but really the two crunch time plays were made by Dino. So I'm on record with how I feel about Dino Mallios, so Dino's coming to the end here, and he's made a lot of big plays for us over his 4-year career. And I wouldn't trade him for any other point right out.
Roy, just kind of talk about your first half. Obviously, joke about the shooting this morning, but like Coach said, kind of stay in your routine, and obviously huge first half that, like he said, not only really carried you guys, but I thought gave the other guys around you confidence to kind of start making shots.
I just hit a few and started feeling it, and the teammates got me the ball in the right spot, and it really draws out the defense. And gets, as you can see, more people got open shots in the second half than the other people. So it felt good. Just kept shooting.
Dino, make your job a little bit more fun when he's going off like that, hitting shots, just kind of getting the ball in the right spot and finding him.
Yeah, it definitely makes everything a lot easier, especially against the 2-3 zone. And we have Roy, Nail, and Mike on the wing. So, I mean, we're a dangerous team, especially to play against the zone. So, I mean, Roy made some big shots right away. I don't know how much we were down, at least 10. And, Roy came down, and he pretty much just got us going. He's the reason why we fought back in the first half.
Yeah, Roy, talk a little bit about that in terms of, the 2-3 zone. Obviously, no stranger to it in terms of coming from Moyne and, knowing that you guys are going to have to knock down threes, to win this game, and you did that.
I mean, we prepared well, and we really pulled the defense out and got some movement. And it's a lot easier when Dino can penetrate, and I got Nielsen open in the corner, and they're always have to concentrate on the other players too, so it makes it harder for them to guard, all of us. And just a little bit of movement, get open shots. It's pretty easy.
Dino, kind of talk about that last, not the last play, but the last offensive play of the driving layup you made. Seemed like, you guys hadn't scored in almost 10 minutes. It seemed like you kind of just had that look in your eye, like you were going to snap that stretch, and you did.
Yeah, I don't know how long it was, maybe 6 minutes that we went without a bucket. But they weren't really in they were in a matchup 2-3 zone at that time. So me and Roy were even saying we got to look to be more aggressive with our one-on-one skills. So I got the rebound and I saw a gap, I just took it, and I mean that thing sat on the rim for a good 2 seconds. So thank God that fell in.
And then as a senior captain, kind of just talk about what this means. Getting this win. Your first one here, in 4 years in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, last year we fell short first round. So, it feels good to get this one under our belt. And, I have a great group of guys that have my back. And, I think we deserve this, and we're going to keep on fighting. And, we're not going to go down easy. So, I think, other than me, everyone else around here, they're such hard workers. So, I think they deserve this too.
Lastly, for both of you, does it matter who you get tonight, for tomorrow night, New Haven, Bloomfield, or, just happy to advance and just play whoever you get? Coach is answering for you.
It doesn't matter. We've played New Haven before. We've played Bloomfield in the past. So, we wouldn't mind getting New Haven because of our last performance against them. So, we're really just, it really doesn't matter, quite honestly.